Okay.
Wow, World of Water. Welcome to World of Water. We all know that one of the most important things we have in our life is water. And what we always think about is why don't we always want it to be pure water? So that's some of what we're going to talk about today. But one of the things that I'd mentioned in one of my previous podcasts, we're going to talk a little bit about bottled water. Everybody knows what bottled water is, but everybody doesn't know about what is in that bottle. So I thought I'd just take some time and look and research a little bit of that and some of the things we already know, but some of the time, sometimes it's not top of mind. We know something, but we don't process it in a way to think through it or realize what that means and to what extent that has an effect on our life and on the lives of our loved ones, our family, our children, and those that we serve in every capacity, whatever you're focused on, whatever you serve, and whoever you serve, every one of them needs pure water. So I just wanted to gather a few things about bottled water and share them with you today. One of the reasons is because it is such a large industry. Did you realize that?
You're fine, Mark. You can keep going.
Did you realize that there is over 600 billion plastic bottles every year that go into the ecosystem? That's just hard to even process, isn't it? But what does that mean and what kind of effect does that have? First of all, significant plastic pollution. We know what that means, of course. The majority of plastic water bottles end up in landfills or as unregulated waste in oceans and rivers because less than 30% are recycled globally. Another thing that we don't think about as we use those, slow decomposition. Plastic bottle can take anywhere from, what would you guess? If this surprised me, from 450 to 1,000 years to break down, persisting in the environment for many generations. That really was something that I didn't expect. But think about that and think about how what we do with those, we don't think about it. They are important, of course, and it's not that we can get rid of them. But if we could use less of them and still have pure water, what would that do and how would that affect the ecosystem and many other things beside that? Also, they're harmful to wildlife. Plastic waste in oceans and on land poses a severe threat to marine and terrestrial life, which can ingest plastic or become entangled in it, leading to injury and death. And I've heard quite a bit about that lately. It's amazing how many of those things happen because of that. And then the microplastics. We've talked before about microplastics and what the challenge with those that is. Uh, as bottles degrade, they break into microscopic particles that can contaminate water sources, food chains, and are absorbed into human bodies with potential links to inflammation, organ damage, and chronic disease. We find out in our research with microplastics, there's lots of other things besides water that have microplastics and have an effect on our body. But why would we want to have that challenge with water when that's not necessary, or at least to not have as much of those plastic bottles that we use and drink out of and then discard that don't discard and decompose very quickly. And then chemical leaching. The plastic used in many bottles are harmful, and there are some bottled waters that have food grade plastic, but there's many of them that does not. And there was an experience, and I may have mentioned this one time before, but in one of the major challenges with the hurricane in the Caribbean islands, there was one of the islands that had a major problem and needed water, and there was some group that put together the funds to put pallets with 200,000 bottles of bottled water. But one of the things they failed to do and think about and realize when they dropped them in a hot area like the Caribbean, the sun was so bright and so intense that those bottles became contaminated and not one of them could be used for drinking water for anybody. That's how sad it is with some of the things that, and some of the bottles. So the leaching again is one, and then the depletion of natural resources. The production of plastic bottles consumes millions of barrels of oil annually and uses large volumes of water from manufacturing, putting a strain on limited global resources and contributing to climate change through carbon emissions to some extent. And then the high cost to consumers. Did you realize how much bottled water really costs compared to anything else that you would purchase and be willing to do? Why do you do it? Because it's handy, of course, but and also because you have to have it, you need it. But to think about the high cost, bottled water is substantially more expensive than tap water, often costing hundreds or thousands of times more for a product that is frequently just filtered municipal water. And some of that we understand is even less than that because there is not regulatory rules related to purifying or saying that you have bottled water and how that is. The government does not control that the way they should. It's a whole different type of entity that's supposed to control that do not stay on top of that. So you don't really know what you're getting in those because a lot of times they have never checked it out and therefore it's not what could be best for you. Related to what we just said, it costs up to 2,000 times more than tap water to buy some bottled water. What's the most you've ever paid for a bottle of water? Well, if you fly and you go through the airports, I could only guess. But even now, there's a lot of things they call water that they have something in it or something that makes you have energy or just water that's supposed to have something better for you, or they're in bottles again that's supposed to be better. Uh, Food grade bottles, etc. All that's true and all that's good, but think about how much you pay and how much it costs. What if you could eliminate having to have buy any bottle of water for the rest of your life? But let's just think about it on a annual situation. The number of bottles that you use every day over the course of the year is, and just you and one other person, it's amazing how many bottles are wasted. Plastic bottles go into the ecosystem, and also how much money you spent to buy those things that pollute when you don't have to. One of the things, if you listen to some of our previous podcasts, we have a water filtration system that's designed to where it can create pure water for life for you, where you never have to buy another bottle of water if you don't want to. It's called Safer, Cleaner Water, and the water system is designed with three things that are different from most things in the marketplace, but it's available to everyone in the world, and you can have the ability to have them within 7 to 14 days to where you never have to buy any other bottled water again if you so desire. It's a water filtration system. Number one, the filter has a lifetime guarantee from the manufacturer. There's over 1 million of them in the marketplace around the world. There's over 28 million people have pure water every day because of the system. The manufacturer made it available, and it's tested to the point that, again, they can give it a lifetime guarantee. It's similar to what is used when for kidney dialysis machine, for example, that pure and takes out everything that would make you sick, bacteria, viruses, 100% of the microplastics. So it's something that's healthy for you, where you never have to be concerned about buying any bottled water again if you so desire, or less of it. But again, if just two people do that, it's like over $900, and depending on where you buy and what ones you buy, it's a lot more than that if you use bottled water every day for your drinking water. why do that? It's up to you if you want to do that, but just remember what you are doing. And one thing, of course, I do recommend is that you do have, if you do buy bottled water, to try to make sure that it's food grade plastics, because a lot of them aren't. And the cheaper the water, the less likely they are food grade. And that when those heat up, say you were in the sun and or you left them in your car and it was really a hot day, it's really not good to have those. But you can control that with this system. Again, number one, lifetime guarantee. Number two, you never have to buy another filter because it's gravity flow, and it's designed to where the water flows through it, and the water that comes through the filter is 99.9% pure of all bacteria and viruses, and 100% of microplastics removed. It always comes out pure, but whenever you it slows down a little bit because of the gravity flow, you can just reverse that filter, take some of the pure water that it created that's already gone through it, and backwash it with that pure water. And now all you do is turn it back around and continue to use it again for a lifetime. The third thing, most things that are designed for this could be for an emergency or every day, but let's think of it from an emergency standpoint for a moment. A lot of water filtration systems, as you know, you have to buy another filter for them frequently, and that cost. That's not good if you have an emergency. What if you can't get one? The other thing is a lot of them do not produce very much volume of water. With what we have, it actually produces up to 150 gallons of water every day, gravity flow. So that means that you could help up to 300 people have a half gallon of pure water to drink in an emergency, no matter how long it lasts. Or again, even if there's not an emergency. One of the things that we do, you can actually get one for you, your family, your loved ones, your church, your any other entity. And we have it designed in such a simple way. All you have to do, for example, in our nonprofit side, is $100 donation, and you can tell us who you want that donated to, and all you have to do is give us their shipping address, and we take care of everything else. So some people realize you want your children, your family, your loved ones, and those that you serve or those that are around you, like in your church, etc. You want to have pure water, and you'd love to have them. So for every $100, that's actually can happen for as many people as you desire. And by the way, that's a tax benefit to you as well for those that you donate for others. You can also get one for yourself for the $100. But there's also, you won't get the tax benefit, but you get something that gives you a lifetime service. And then if you have more than that, that's funding that you would like to help with this cause, this is a worldwide cause, and one of the greatest things that needs to be taken care of that has not been taken care of, even with all the wealth and all the other things that we have, many of us have, and some of us don't have much, but all of us need the same thing. So there are those that are beginning to realize that and want to do things to help. So that's something that can be done, and this is what this does. So with the fact it's a lifetime guarantee on the filter, never have to replace the filter because you can backwash it, and the fact that it creates up to 150 gallon per day to help as many as 300 people. There isn't anything that I know of that can do that in that way. And again, takes out 100% of the microplastics, the viruses, the bacteria, everything that would make you sick, and you can share that with everybody. We also, with safercleanerwater.com, you have the ability to purchase one there if you so desire. And if you want to do that, that's the place where you can go there. There's a couple other things on that side as well that's related to the filtration system that you may have an interest in. If you do, feel free to make contact and go ahead and purchase it there. You have so many options and so many opportunities to actually have pure water. All you have to do is decide you want it. And we're finding some that buy it for their pets, for example. Uh, they say, I want my pets to have pure water just like I want pure water. So it works that way. And then what we do with our nonprofit, we actually raise funds in our nonprofit to be able to give and donate a water filtration system to those that that are the most needy, and that's homeless shelters. If you think of it, the homeless shelters do things to have food for those they serve and clothing and other things, shelter. But a lot of them have never done anything to think about what would happen if there was no electricity or no water flow for 5 to 7 days. How many of those that they serve would still be able to survive? So we want to raise, and the funds that we raise inside for every $100 that we receive, we can donate one of those to a homeless shelter, to those that serve others, where now they can have what they need. And again, you have the ability to do the same thing for all those that you care about and for yourself as well, either with uagrant.com or with safercleanerwater.com. So we just wanted to share some of these things. Also, we'll just say a couple more things before we finish up here. But the high cost to consumers is unbelievable when you think about all of that, not just because of the thousands of bottles that you purchase, but the thousands of bottles that goes into the system, millions, and then of course billions as you look at the whole picture. So, and then the water quality regulation, I mentioned it briefly. But contrary to popular belief, bottled water is often subject to less stringent oversight than municipal tap water supplies. And studies have found various contaminants, including bacteria, pharmaceuticals, and industrial chemicals in bottled water because there's no good, proper regulation. The government does not do as much with that as they do with many other things, which you wonder why, but it's true. So we have to think about it ourselves. 8 million tons of plastic in our oceans so frequently. Just think of that. Use the word millions and billions. That really shows you what the need is to have pure water and why not have pure water for life. If you notice on our screen, that's what we have with safer, cleaner water, the ability for you to have pure water for life for you, for your family, for up to 300 others, and to be able to donate funds to where we can actually have multiple millions of people have pure water for the rest of their life. We're going to talk on another podcast about what we're doing now, not just in the United States, but a little more detail about what we're doing. In the last few weeks, we've had many, many people outside of the United States as well that have found out what we have never heard of it, and they've decided that they really would like to be able to have pure water for life for themselves as well. So that's what we do, and that's what we're focused on, and we trust that you will take the time to go look at safercleanerwater.com or uagrant.com and make your decision to help humanity, to help the ecosystem, to help yourself, and help those that have the greatest need to have the joy and the privilege of having pure water for the rest of your life. Thank you.